Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you've ever found yourself just staring at a massive wall of raw, messy text, like a sprawling transcript or a huge brain dump of ideas, and thought, how on earth am I going to turn this into structured, actionable insights? Well, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're diving into a fascinating source text that outlines a foolproof method for doing exactly that. We're going to see how a tool called NotebookLM functions as way more than just software. It's actually a dedicated thought partner. Let's break down exactly how this source tells us to maximize our insights.
So, Section 1, the comparison trap and finding focus.
Right out of the gate, our source material hits on this fundamental, almost painful human truth. It's the absolute danger of comparing our own messy, behind-the-scenes process to everyone else's perfectly polished highlight reel. Seriously, think about that for a second. When you're right in the thick of researching or creating, you're staring at unstructured chaos, right? You're behind the scenes. But then you look around and compare that reality to the finished, pristine products others are putting out into the world. It's a massive trap, and our source notes just how incredibly common and relatable it is for all of us.
To combat this, the text hits us with a really powerful quote, serving as a great reminder to focus on our own unique journeys. It explicitly tells us we have to protect our minds from that comparison trap. We need to completely block out the highlight reels of others and just zone in on our own process. But, how do we actually pull that off when we're constantly overwhelmed with information?
That brings us to Section 2, your AI thought partner, a real paradigm shift.
So here, the source text introduces NotebookLM. But notice the framing. It uses this very specific term, your thought partner. And honestly, this is a massive paradigm shift in how we handle our data. We aren't talking about a basic search engine or some passive digital filing cabinet here. As a thought partner, it acts as an objective, active collaborator designed entirely to help you process your specific ideas into something genuinely meaningful. By doing the heavy lifting, this partner frees you up to stay completely focused on that unique journey we were just talking about.
Moving on to Section 3, powering the source panel. Think of this as the engine.
The text maps out this incredibly clear step-by-step evolution for your work. Step 1, you literally just start with your raw material, like that messy transcript. Step 2, you drop it into what the text calls the source panel. You can kind of look at the source panel as the foundational training ground for your AI thought partner. Once your data is securely locked in there, we hit Step 3. That's where the magic happens, and you start building actual usable artifacts over in the studio panel. Now here is the absolute crucial point. The major differentiator. Your thought partner stays totally grounded in the specific documents you provide. It doesn't just invent things out of thin air or pull from random internet noise. By grounding itself purely in your source panel, it gives you hyper-accurate citations and insights. It guarantees that your AI is always working directly from the reality of your own unique material.
Okay, Section 4, building helpful artifacts. This is the output phase.
Once your stuff is in the studio panel, the source outlines 3 highly specific, super useful artifacts you can build. First up, you can instantly create a study guide. The text points out that this is literally the perfect way to break down core concepts. It helps you transition your thoughts from that initial chaotic mess into a clean, structured asset. For example, you could take those initial mindset shifts we discussed, like avoiding that brutal comparison trap, and use the study guide to structure them perfectly for your own review. Second, you can generate an audio overview. Now this is wild. The source describes this feature as taking your notes and generating a deep dive podcast discussion between 2 AI hosts. Just imagine taking your rough, behind-the-scenes brain dump and instantly transforming it into an engaging, back-and-forth audio discussion that you can listen to on your commute. It is a completely different, incredibly dynamic way to process your own information.
And finally, the third artifact lets you simply ask questions. Because your thought partner is grounded only in your document, you can interact directly with your own text. The source gives a fantastic example. You could literally ask the system, hey, what are some specific ways to protect my mind based on these notes? And it will generate an answer derived purely from the text you provided. It's basically like having a customized expert on call to query your own brain.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to ask yourself, how will you protect your mind and focus on your unique journey? Look, we've seen that the comparison trap is very real, but now you actually have a different way forward. By grounding an AI in your own messy transcripts, you can totally stop agonizing over everyone else's highlight reels and start building your own brilliant insights. So what raw ideas are you leaving unstructured right now just because you don't have a thought partner to help you tackle them?